These verses reveal the contrast of basically having justification work out practically or not having justification work out practically. That's what we're seeing. So we're seeing it's either the Spirit's indwelling or it's basically the opposition. So keep in mind that what we see is this. In verse 5, it teaches us that there are two distinct mindsets. Two distinct mindsets. In verse 6, there are two distinct outcomes. So in verse 5, what? For those who live according to the flesh, set their minds on the flesh, and those who live according to the Spirit, set their minds on the things of the Spirit. So keep in mind, initially, there are two different mindsets, what we focus on. We focus on self or God. And then there are two different outcomes. Depending on your mindset, what you sow, you shall reap. If you have one mindset, then you're going to have one outcome. If you have another mindset, you have another outcome. Look at verse 6. He says this, for to be carnally minded is death. To be spiritually minded is life and peace. So you understand that initially he begins saying, listen, when you're walking in the Spirit, when you receive this gift of Jesus Christ, of having the Holy Spirit in you, through that process of justification, this is one of the things that you get. When the Spirit is in you, there's going to be these multiple contrasts that you're going to find yourselves in, or you could. One is there's two distinct mindsets. Two, depend on the mindset, there's two distinct outcomes. And then through the outcomes, we recognize this. In verse 7 and 8, there's two distinct relationships. There's two distinct relationships you can have. You can have a relationship of hostility, or you can have a relationship of harmony. Now, if you're walking in this one mindset of carnality and the flesh, then you're going to have what? Then you're going to have this whole issue of what? Enmity against God. When you have enmity against God, what? You're going to have hostility. You're grieving the Spirit. Now, on the contrast, when you're walking in the Spirit, then what? All of a sudden, do you have it now? All of a sudden, you are spiritually minded. You have life. You have peace. You understand that you have these outcomes depending on the mindset. The mindset is going to depend on the relationship. And so what he does is he contrasts these. Look at verse 7 and 8. He says, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for there's not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then those who are in the flesh cannot please God. Do you understand that he talks about this relationship, that within that you can't have this incredible relationship with God when you're walking in the flesh. So when you have this Spirit, you see these contrasts.